Hello everyone, Pankil here from Outranking again, and in this video, we are going to walk through the process of creating your own style guide. Style guides is a very essential element of creating a content writing process. Well, if you are doing this on solo, you can totally skip this, right? But if you want to build a repeatable process in creating content that is structured and written in a very different way or in a very particular way, then you will need style guides. Now, every brand usually has a style guides in terms of what terms you don't want to use, what terms you want to use instead of some of the as an alternative, whether you want to write in first person, second person, third person, or even a combination of three in a particular post, or whether you want to write this as a veteran hiker that has hiked Mount Everest, right? And you want to showcase that expertise. You can do very creative things with style guides and come up with a list of instructions that AI can follow in order to create the content prompts before generating the first draft. So let's go ahead and look at this. We can go back to our select style guide and click on the settings for style guide. In this drop down, you will find the default style guide, which Outranking already has. You can click on the plus icon to open up the create style guide utility. And you can read through the instruction of what a style guide is, which I just mentioned already, but there is a very great detailed example of how you could potentially create a style guide using Outranking, right? And let's go through this example particularly, right? And you can say, you can define a tone, professional yet witty. You can say I want to write always in first person, or you can say a combination of first, second, third person. You can define UK English. You can say I want to write only in French, right? And it will force the engine to write even better French. You can say write French but in second person, and it will use a combination of all of those. So you can define as many of these guidelines that you'd like the AI to follow. These are some really great examples, but don't limit your creativity. If there is a certain thing that you'd want it to do when it's building out the prompts and use that detail in it, then feel free to write it in and instruct the AI by telling this. And how we generally do it, we're just gonna write how to start a subsection. So it's 2-sentence summary, overview, argumentation, or introduction. You can say how to write a product alternative, 2-sentence mentioning why an alternative, an unordered list of top features, an expanded order list of 5 pros, which is what Outranking is using currently for default style guide, right? So you can be very creative here and write as in-depth as of a style guide that you'd want. The example shows that you don't want to exceed the section for 150 words, but you can say anywhere from 100 to 500 words if that suits you and you want to write more content and more in detail content. If you want to write painstakingly detailed content and provide example for everything that you do, or maybe let's say spatial information, like if you're going for a hike, you always want to mention, for example, elevation, conditions, dog friendly, and some of those other attributes that you'd want every hike to have. For example, let's say if you are a travel blogger or a travel website and you often write about the places you hike, right? And every time you hike, you have these attributes that you'd like the users or the readers that you have of your blog to sort of follow, so that you have cohesiveness and you are being informative and detailed and building a repeatable process on how to approach a blog post that's talking about, let's say, 10 hikes in Connecticut or 10 hikes in Boston or 10 hikes somewhere else. And you want all of these topics to follow same patterns so your writers or you have a very clear picture of how to approach the content, and the AI as well. Absolutely, right? So you can write, when writing about an hike, create a table with following attributes, and it can do that when it's building out your prompts. So this was a very good example of how you can build precise prompts for different use cases and different niche and different types of blogs or pages for different use cases. So a second example would be, let's say you are trying to build a service page for local clients. So you have, let's say, 1,000 local clients, and you write about contractors, roofers, you talk about lawn mowers, you talk about lawyers, right? But you're building out this page is for local websites, and you have a very set process on how you approach each landing page or each blog page. In that case, you can define a style guide specifically for a service page, landing page, or a blog post, and select those when building out this prompt. So when the content is written, it's written in that particular manner. Now, this is really, really, really powerful. So any brand and any agency can utilize this to scale their content process to the next level. Great. Once you have the style guide that you really want, you can name it. And for this one, I'll just say sample 1, and we can save it. Okay. Once you save it, it will use this as the default for generating this section. But every time you'd come creating a different draft for a different topic, you will need to select the style guide and then generate the prompts. You have to select the style guide before generating the prompts so that the AI can follow that style guide and build your content. Thank you all for watching. And in the next video, we will cover how to optimize your content that the AI generates.